Welcome to the Back Pocket 2024 Game Awards, where we are deciding what's the best, what's the worst, and what's everything else. In this one, we're looking at best visuals in games in 2024, and we've got a big freaking list of them.
Arguably the most shallow of the lists. Are we being superficial? We're just judging everything.
Hottest
at
game.
Hottest,
This is basically Facebook for video games.
sexiest game that we would swipe right on. Right?
Yeah.
Left.
I don't know, man. You're the one that's been doing it for a decade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
That poor wrist.
Well, for many reasons, William.
All right, hot
reasons.
games.
I know the joke.
Yeah.
If it was hot games, it would go to Zenless Zone Zero, hands down.
What was the other one we talked about? But bunny suits?
Oh, the First Descendant.
That's not in
Yes.
here. That's not worthy of being
So
in
it's
here.
just like,
Damn it.
whatever.
There's visuals.
We got a big ass list. And this one is hard
Yeah, it is.
because, all right.
Poor.
All right, limp wrist. Anywho, that was fucked.
Limp
that was
wrist?
mean. Limp wrist.
Read all the games.
Read the
Sorry,
games.
don't distract me. So it's hard because there are games here that, like, fidelity wise, are like spectacles.
Yeah.
And there are games here that have such powerful visual styles that they're kind of in a league of their own. Like, it's all very, very hard to.
And there'll be
to
ones
choose
in the middle
between.
that are like, meh, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
And we'll delete them.
Swipe left.
Yeah. So it's a doozy. This one,
What have we got?
I would
Read
argue.
the list out to us.
Okay, just really quick. I would argue this is the most subjective one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe not
art
easily.
is
I
subjective.
think they're all subjective. but
Art
yeah.
is subjective. So we've got Summer House, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Mullet Mad Jack, Another Crab's Treasure,
Crab's Treasure.
Stellar Blade, Neva, Planet Coaster 2, Rise of the Ronin, Conscript, Dragon's Dogma 2, Nine Souls, Black Myth Wukong, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Wild Bastards, The Plucky Squire, Rise of the Golden Idol, Harold Halibut, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Children of the Sun, Thank Goodness You're Here, Helldivers 2, Alan Wake 2, Night Springs, Paper Trail, Princess Peach Showtime, Mouthwashing, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley, Little Kitty Big City, Botany Manor, Metaphor Fantasio, Until Then, Path of Exile 2, Cryptmaster, Crow Country, Angerfoot, Indica, Balatro, Zenless Zone 0, Kanitsugami Path of the Goddess, Arco, Animal Well, UFO 50, Star Wars Outlaws, and Astrobot.
Woo!
Good list.
Thank
It's
you.
like, imagine if we clapped after each nominee like the Oscars. We'd be here all night.
Oh, we would.
And see a little like video compilation.
Yeah,
of their
the package
performance.
for each one. And we'll snufkin everyone. All right, we're going to kill a bunch.
Yeah. Planet Coaster 2, get it out of here.
Yep.
Why is that
Around.
even in this list?
No.
As soon as you said
This
that,
is-
I was furious.
This is the one where no follow-up sentence. You say it,
Yep.
it
Yep.
goes unless someone screams
Unless
in
someone's
pain
like,
and terror. Yep. Never.
Neither.
Neither. Just above it. That can go. It's pretty. I said something.
I got other ones I need to fight
She's
for.
making noises. She's judging us with noises. Well,
Yeah, I'll just keep my judgment.
I'm getting rid of Elden Ring. It's the second time. That's the second time it's happened.
Yeah.
And in
Fine.
that same breath, I'm taking Alan Wake 2, Night Springs.
Is someone going to scream?
I'm heard about Elden Ring. Art direction.
Yeah, but
Nah, it's fine.
they've
It's
directed
fine.
it before.
It's been directed before.
Yeah.
I'll give you. Yep. All right. Well done, Will. You fought hard. You didn't fight at all. Peter.
Yep, Mullen Magic.
I mean, I think it looks great, but I also haven't played it. So.
Zenless Zone 0.
No, I disagree.
You get one veto.
Fuck.
Is that the veto?
Do you choose the veto? You went hard early, so prepare to hurt.
You know these
more.
lists are competitions as well. We're going to go for something you really fucking love.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just
It's
gonna,
hard because
You gotta
the
pick
art
it.
Gotta pick
direction
it.
of that
Yay or
game.
nay?
All right.
Zenless Zone 0. It's gone?
Yep.
Save that
I
veto.
disagree, but all right.
These are all beautiful games.
Again, reminder,
Except-
as of...
Botany Manor.
Oh, get out of there.
Say it with me, everybody. It just looks a little
looks
bit
a bit like
a
the
worse
Witness
version
of the
of
Witness.
Yeah.
Plain. Flower.
Yeah.
It's not flowery enough.
Mm.
Say it with me.
Say it with me, everyone.
Everyone.
Ruby.
Thank you. Ruby.
Kill.
Which game is hideous to you?
Which game will the developers watch this video and say, Roby, she broke
She
up.
hates our game.
Roby.
She break my heart. Why you got to break my
Well,
heart?
it's got to be metaphor
Rifandazio.
I'm going to choose AAA one, so that doesn't happen.
You gotta have it ready
I
by
like
the time
your
it comes
vendetta
around.
is like you got to take out all the games that were made by 200 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Fuck them. Rise of the Ronin.
Peter.
Yeah, it's got to go.
Yeah.
But Dragon's Dogma 2 is not sexy enough for me.
Ooh, wouldn't fuck it. I wouldn't fuck Summer House. It's pretty. It's very pretty.
Oh, and Elijah Wood tweeted about it.
Oh.
And that man has a good eye for stuff.
He's just got good eyes.
He's got
They're
beautiful
so
eyes.
big and blue.
Yeah.
Big blue eyes.
You get lost in them like
Yeah.
a big ocean.
You gonna veto?
Let's swim in there. No
Then
vetoes.
shut up.
Get rid
Will.
of it. Okay.
Summer House is beautiful.
Um,
I'll say it.
You don't. They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm going to say it every time.
She has to say it.
I have to.
I would
Also-
like to get rid of Stellar Blade just for the culture that it has grown. I don't
That
like
is so.
I do like jiggly
so brave.
physics, though.
Yeah.
I think
Why
the
was it-
monsters
You
were
just got
really
rid of
cool.
Zenless Zone Zero. You don't like jiggly physics? That is the
I
jiggly
didn't get rid of
physics
any of
game.
these.
My culture.
I would keep all the titty games, Josh.
Keeps my
I'm
culture
all
growing.
about the titty games.
I think the monsters look really cool in Stellar Blade. I don't think it's doing anything new visually.
And the breasts.
And the breasts.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
breasts.
Oh,
Don't forget
I
the breasts.
love the big fat naturals on that bitch. So take that.
You have to say that about every game now.
There's no taking out. There's no taking out.
Oh.
What you said stays.
Yeah.
Kill.
Kill one.
Sick
Go
it.
on.
Kill the ugliest game there.
Again. You got all the time. You got to pick it.
Sorry, I have to read every single one of them again
You
because
don't have to
You
do
really
that.
don't.
I forget them the second I look
You
away.
can just say Snufkin. You can just say it.
No, I'm never going to say
All right,
that.
Peter, your turn.
Wait.
Snufkin.
No.
Snuff that little kin out.
Snuff 'em. Beautifully hand-drawn art. If you could just scratch a hand-drawn line through it, that would be great.
Okay, Path of Exile 2.
You got rid of something.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight for that.
Alright. Helldivers 2. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
no,
would
actually,
you? Would you?
pause on that.
Pausing.
Pausing. Hey, Paper Trail.
Yeah.
No, you heard her.
Oh, another blow.
You heard her. She got low in her
Only had
chair.
health bars.
Yeah. I got the biggest health bar.
All right, well, he's got nothing to lose.
So many games on here I'd get rid of so
yeah.
quickly.
I'm just going to attack it again for a different reason. But Star Wars Outlaws doesn't bring anything new to the table. The one planet it does bring is the worst planet of
Okay.
the crew.
Which was
Interesting.
The Jungle planet.
Yeah.
The Star Wars planets are
No
really
one's
cool.
fighting you on that
Best
one.
looking Star Wars graphics.
For sure. But not anything new for my
More so
eyes.
than Jedi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
better than
yeah.
Jedi. It's way better than Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those
It's
environments
way
are
prettier, yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's top 10 though. I think
Yeah, I think it
will.
can go.
Yeah.
Ruby.
There's no new games there since you last.
I know.
Yeah, they're the same.
If anything, there's
There are
less.
fewer games.
Yeah, there's less games.
Got to get rid of these Ninty games, mate.
Okay. That's a really good point. And I say this with so much love in my heart for this game. Visually, not really doing anything new. It's just another Nintendo game, and that's Princess Peach Showtime.
I would get rid
She
of it.
Wow.
for
There
sure.
it is. She hates Princess
I would
Peach.
also, in the same vein, get rid of Zelda Echoes of
Yep.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Beautiful game, but we've seen Chibi Zelda before.
We have.
I
and
love that
it's
art
cute.
style,
Yeah.
but I
It's
get
cool
it.
as hell.
So I actually hate this art style.
Oh.
And I'm surprised I didn't say it earlier. I'm not doing this to hurt anyone. Rise of the Golden Idol.
You've hurt someone.
It makes me uncomfortable. It's a choice, and they go with it.
But is it a bold enough choice that it's interesting enough to be in the top 10?
I preferred the previous game's graphics.
Okay.
I liked that it felt like I'd found an old DOS game. What they found in between was this kind of like semi-polished, ugly face. Yeah, I didn't like it. I guess that was the purpose of it. It's an uncomfortable game, but yeah, no, I don't care for it. Ruby, do you want a veto?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
care for
gonna go
Joe.
home.
I mean, you didn't jump out and say no, so I'm gonna let's continue.
There's other things on here you would prefer to
Maybe.
Protect. Imagine if you never veto after this. That'd be so awkward. You missed your chance. That's how you play the game.
And this is a game.
And this is a game. William.
All the respect to the developer, and I know someone's played and finished this Animal Well. It's very beautiful, but it is kind of the go-to look for that kind of game. It's
It's
It's top tier version of it, but I don't know if it.
There is some beautiful backgrounds,
Yeah.
and there's some amazing character models of like ethereal ghosts and yeah. Oh fuck!
But
that's
I
hard.
mean, just look at the if you don't think it
Is it a top
belong-
10er?
Yeah.
There
Maybe.
are ones
Yeah, if you think
that
so.
I'd put Animal well over.
I would put Animal well over like UFO 50 is a bold thing where it's like it's so much to bring in, but I preferred the focus of Animal
The
well. So if
desi-
you'd like to
yeah.
change your vote to UFO 50, I'll support you there.
No.
Get rid of UFO. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
That's the
That was the collection of games that look like they were evolving
right.
through a fictional studio. It was really cool, but I'm glad Animal well might make it without
Yeah.
fighting over it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ruby,
I think.
we gotta get down to 10.
Yeah, I know it's so hard. This might be really controversial, but no, I'm not going to go with that one actually.
What a ride.
Dragon Age of the Veil Guard.
I'm
It's
okay.
just
Get
it's,
rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Disneyfied
Polished.
version of it.
I don't think any of us here distinctly didn't. Oh God, Gus. I don't think any of us here were against the art style they went with that slightly more rounded Pixar-y vibe. I liked it. I thought it was a nice look.
That
I
just
think.
did nothing for me.
Yeah, but some people out there actively hated it, so I don't think any of us are here picking it for
No,
that.
no, There are just games here that I find a lot more visually interesting.
Yeah.
They're not they're not more
Fantasy has a tendency
yeah.
to fall into that regardless. Like even,
Yeah.
not Baldur's Gate, but like games, they're just, you've seen it all a lot and all they do is polish that. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good to go. Peter.
So many games I'd like to get rid of.
Get Final Fantasy off there. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about it.
It
Oh,
is-
Josh, you can make that call.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
your one.
That's
yeah,
a
you can
Josh
die on that
decision.
hill. Josh is going to kill Final Fantasy.
Good.
everyone.
What did they do?
I
What,
just
what
wanna-
did they do?
I
that
just-
was
What are they
new?
gonna do?
I
What's
just
new
want to
about
put it out there.
Best visuals, top 10 2024 of Final Fantasy
It's
Rebirth
fucking
game.
polished, man. Those visuals are so schmick.
But are
Like-
you fighting for it?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
That's
I'm
fine.
just making sure I don't get hunted down by weeds.
All he's doing is protecting himself.
Yep.
I was going to do the same thing as a bit, but now because he said that, I need to express to you that there is nothing good about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It is a boring game. It is bloated, and it doesn't look good, and it doesn't play well. Get it off any list.
Yep.
Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. Cool game, not pretty enough.
So for me, the reason I would want to
Are you
fight
going to
for
veto it?
maybe is it's the art style that they've got. It's that they've adapted that. It's not kabuki theater, but that like they've gone for this really not often seen in video game artistic style.
In what, the UI? Because the rest of it looks pretty normal.
No, it's the monsters and the like
So it's like creature
costumes.
design,
It's like creature
character-
design and
character
costumes
design,
and
yeah.
art and like
Yeah.
the way it all flourishes.
I think the design is beautiful. I think the
That falls under visuals, but so yeah,
totally, yeah. I just don't think it was graphically that impressive.
Do you need it to be on top 10?
Not for this list.
Well-
so I'll say no.
Well,
I'm
I'm
going to be
fine.
saying
It's-
Kunitsugami again very soon. Don't you worry about that.
Okay.
Now that I know how to pronounce it, I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to vote to get rid of Children of the Sun. I really thought that was a cool art style. That was the sniper one where it had like scratchy eyes but maybe I'd seen a lot of it. It had that kind of that sort of unhinged MTV VHS hand drawn like inside the mind of a serial killer thing. Really cool. But I'd actually seen it a bit in other games. I'd kind of seen it in your Hotline Miami 2s and that kind of vibe. So I don't
Yeah.
think it made me sit up as much
I
as I
think
thought
it's
it could.
deserved to have lasted this long.
Yeah, I think
in
that's
our
a good
culling.
point. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
And
I
this
agree.
is a culling,
yeah.
Yep.
Shot at from a distance with a
Yeah.
sniper rifle. Okay.
bouncing through windows.
William?
Anglefoot. It does some cool things, but it,
yeah.
you know,
It can
it
go.
doesn't need
It can
to.
go.
Feels like
I
it's
think
a
its character design is really cool.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, I get you.
I wonder if that whole Squanch game looking vibe like has taken a hit just out of like it's not by them, but it just
No,
has that
yeah.
kind of like what if it was so ugly and wacky that it
I would liken it more to like Sludge Life, honestly.
I wouldn't
a game
because I
that
don't know
you-
what the fuck
Yeah,
Sludge Life
that
is.
was a crazy.
You got to get on Sludge.
Sorry.
You gotta get on the Sludge Life.
Ruby.
Ruby, you're hosting this one. You gotta really keep this
I
thing
know.
going. Come on.
Sorry, I
There's
struggle
13
because
more to go.
I see the
We're
beauty.
doing another 3 rounds.
I see the
Wow.
beauty in all of these. That's what I'm really
How
struggling.
many do we have to kill?
Westworld.
13 more. We got to get to 10, right? There's 23 out there.
Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Ruby,
Yeah.
let's go.
Indica. I think like there's a lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
But as
It's grounded in just kind of like a. it's the camera direction and
Yeah.
It is. It's cinematically
cinematics
made
how
as
it's-
opposed
Yeah,
to
it's the
together.
cinematics that really make it shine. But you know,
God, I'm gonna finish that.
yeah.
Yep.
I wanna know
I'm not
more.
going to fight for that. I would like to remove Nine Souls. It's lovely art, but it's not as polished as most of the other games on this list.
I'm gonna take a stab at Dungeons of Hinterberg. Cool, unique, cell shady, kind of bold. It was really relied on a palette choice, like literally like 3 bold colors, like a sort of neon pink, green, and blue, and the rest of it, I think visuals weren't actually its high point. It was its kind of like, just those.
I would
colours,
say that in how it looks,
which is visuals.
yeah, it does it the best of other games that look like it. That's my personal opinion. But I'm not going to fight for it because there are other ones that I can fight for.
What do you want to fight for?
Hang on,
telling
Will's turn
you.
to fight.
Tell me.
No, I'm gonna
No, I
fight.
can't.
Will fight.
You're a monster.
I'm gonna fight the little kitty big city. I think it's a cool style,
Yeah.
and it totally fits the game it is. But
Yeah.
it's not the highlight of
Which
the
one
game,
did
I don't
Gus
think.
just get rid of?
I
Dungeons
killed
of Hinterberg.
Yep.
the very first one, and Will the second last one.
Yep.
Little Kitty Big City. Gone.
Bye bye kitty.
Ruby. For the audience,
Let's go pee.
there's like 20 odd games left.
Yep.
Another Crab's Treasure, Conscript, Black Myth Wukong, Lorelei and Lazars, Wild Bastards, Plucky Squire. Until then, Crypt Master, Crow Country. Bring it up on screen, please, Josh. Balatro, Animal World,
I'm just reformatting it, Peter. Jeez.
There it is.
Oh,
There it is.
Astrobard, Harold Halibut. Thank goodness you're here. Helldivers 2, Mouthwashing, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Metaphority, Fantatio.
Is Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 there just because we know it's like a fidelity spectacle?
It is like
Which
absolutely
it
the
totally
fidelity
deserves a spot on this list, I
spectacle
think.
of-
I was like,
of the
there's always got to be
list.
one game in our top 10 of best visuals that is just the pinnacle of
It's
that
pushing
year.
the-
Well,
It
I'd
just
say that's
shines.
between Black Myth Wukong and Senua's
Yeah.
Saga then.
And Senua's Saga kicks its ass.
yeah. Then in that case, Black Myth Wukong, I want to.
I'm not going to fight
Peace
for that to
out.
be in
Yep.
the top 10.
I guess if we're pitting a few together, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Peter.
I will get rid of Wild Bastards. Very cool game, very cool style, lots of character in the art, but
Had
It's-
seen it in Void Bastards to a degree. Not that you don't get. you
It's
don't get to
reminiscent of their previous
Mm-hmm.
games for sure. And I think there are some things this year that stand out next to it.
Cool. Cryptmaster, black and white, first person, interesting, but
Pick a color.
pick a color. There's
Just
so many. to pick
one.
from.
There are so many great colors. Look at that set.
Character designs and stuff were cool and spooky and
show
all
us
that
the
kind of
wide.
stuff.
I
but
think the
look at
character
that.
designs were
Pick any of these
incredible.
colors.
Wow.
The
Just
hell is
hadn't
that?
noticed them before.
It's a truck outside.
Like I think the way that they do like the like scratchy 2D like pencil art style on 3D is the best that it's ever been.
Guess
done.
I'm a bit fatigued of seeing a unique art style almost in that 2D form, like Wild
Mundone.
the mouse Void Bastards,
That is
and all
an
that
game
kind
that I
of.
played.
There's
That's cool.
the what's it called? There's the squiddy people that you can't, the Love Country,
Splatoon.
Lovecraftian. Thank you. That Lovecraftian first person one. It has. I've
Oh, are
seen.
you talking
Forgive me, Father.
Oh, I
I've-
thought you were talking about the what's the
Well, I'm not talking about that one.
Time.
So,
Yeah.
Forgive Me, Father was a first-person Lovecraftian one with this kind of same ugly but stunning art style. So, yeah.
no, it's gorgeous.
Okay, Crypt
I
Master.
would struggle as a if I were colorblind because I find it's really hard to pass that information as well. Like black and white on black and white on black and white. I'm like, I can't see the depth and stuff as well.
Okay, Will.
Me. Not that I really have opinions, but Metaphor Ray Fantasio.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Great, bold decisions in
Yep.
the design, but the art style and the graphics feel like something from Atlas that they.
Atlas games are always going to be beautiful.
Yeah,
they
but,
look cool.
Yeah.
I do like it when they do the Persona like places I haven't seen before. I've seen Fantasy done, and it's just their version of it.
Until Then is gorgeous, but like I've seen it in a Space for the Unbound, and I loved Space for the Unbound. That was one of my favorite games of that year.
Yeah,
but
same.
I've seen it.
Yeah, agreed. Another Crab's Treasure, cool. It's just like a cool literal sandbox to be in, an underwater sandbox, but like there's giantly designed Coke cans that you run past and all
had
that
a bit-
stuff. But
that was cool in a micro level, but there was a bit of kind of drab area to it, wasn't it? A little bit like
yeah, totally.
You know,
next
just-
to some of these games, it's interesting, but the execution is nowhere near as refined as some of these. So I would be happy to see it go.
So that's gone. How many do we have to get rid of now?
3 more, I think.
3 more.
This might be unpopular.
Well, it's my turn.
Oh, okay, you go then.
Well, I mean, in theory, I'd like you to pick, but because
We should give Josh one.
Yeah.
please.
Oh no, you didn't start. It's got to go back to you. So
Yeah.
I've this is in a previous video, or maybe one we haven't seen yet. But I'm happy to get rid of Arco.
same. Enough said. It's gone.
Because I'm thinking of it on the minor level where they were small, but on a major level, the background box art. What do you call it? The sky boxes, and the background art of that is so stunning. And it is. It's gone, isn't it? Shit.
It's already gone.
I wish I'd gotten rid of Helldivers.
Is it my turn?
I know. Almost you, Josh. I know I'm gonna get pushed back on it, but I would get rid of Astrobot just on a sense of it's very pretty. But if we're talking fidelity, there are better fidelity games on there.
I
think,
and I just don't think design-wise that's the strength of that game. It's just kind of stuff, and it all looks okay with each other. But
that is my one veto.
really,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is my one veto.
I can, for discussion's sake,
No,
you can
totally.
see what it's sort of like. They do that thing, they do the knack. They go, look at all
Totally,
the particles, look at all the color, and bright and colorful is definitely eye-catching, and that is a visual style in itself. And that can be
Yeah.
something you enjoy the whole way through.
I just
It
think
feels
that,
obvious compared to an ugly
Yeah.
game that's been ugly by design. But
there is just no part of that game visually that is not well done. And every area is so distinct from one another, which I think is very impressive. And like, it is shiny, it is sleek. At no point,
yes. To the previous 2 points, no. Like, distinct and everywhere is unique. Like, holistically, it is just like palette swaps over different kind of like biomes.
I would disagree.
That's okay.
But
It's
it is
still there.
so
Josh,
fucking
it's your turn.
shiny.
But
Josh?
we just got rid of Zelda for the same thing. It's like it's
Exactly.
just chibi PlayStation characters for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it deserves to sit next to the next to Thank God Goodness You're Here. Like, no way. It's just like a really, and you could argue the same thing about Senua's Saga, though I think that is
That's pushing the boundaries of fidelity a bit more.
again because I guess the argument is photorealism versus style, and Astrobot has heaps of style. But again, I go back to it's like, okay, the style was you made a giant PlayStation X that I'm standing on. Cool. Like, I just find it all so uncool.
I just think it's so much more than that. I think that's a really like base level way to look at it. That's just my
But
view.
it's visual. It is literally what it
Yeah,
is. It's just
but-
logos from PlayStation.
But it's not.
But it actually is.
But it-
I don't
it
understand
is.
why we keep having this argument. It
I think-
actually is.
I
Like,
think
it
unfortunately
literally is.
No.
the genuine
What are
discussion
you talking
of
about? It literally is,
I
Ruby.
just
the
know.
genuine discussion
I
is a
just
platform.
disagree.
That's objective.
No,
it's
it's not.
literally
You got the technical
logos from
difficulties card,
PlayStation
Josh?
that you're
But
running
it's,
on.
that is not all of the
Okay,
game.
forgetting.
I'm not saying it's
forgetting,
all of the game. I'm saying that's a big part of it.
Forgetting the logo stuff, but what about the argument? And this is an argument, like in a discussion sense, like a platformer just allows you to put things where you need them, and so by design, those can visually look nice. But to say everything looks distinctly unique, it's textures on blocks that need to go where they are for level design. So gameplay, fuck yeah, it's up there. Game of the year, potentially
This
right
is
up
best
there.
visuals, yeah.
But best visuals, I think it's a shorthand for platforming, which it isn't world creation. It isn't Odyssey or certain games that go, we're going to create. I mean, that's not a Nintendo versus Sony thing. It's a like, who goes holistically, we've made this world feel like Food World or something else world. For what I played was like, there's snow on this one, or there's just a lot of sun on this one. It's all shiny, it's beautiful, it's done with fidelity. But I would say in best visuals, which therefore I reckon you veto it, it stays on the list.
There are 3 games here that I would get rid of, and we only need to get rid of 2.
Yeah,
I
it
would get
stays
rid
on.
of.
Ruby's vetoed it.
I would
so
get
it
rid of
stays.
Con-
I can
Conscripts?
take back my veto.
No, that's
don't
not
have
what we're
to.
arguing. We're all just blurting because we need to get off why
we need to get. I would say I would get of these here to get it to 10. We need to get rid of 2. There's 3 that I would get rid of. I'm interested to hear what you think about it. I would get rid of Conscript. I would get rid of Astrobot. I would get rid of Helldivers 2.
I would Conscript and Helldivers too. I agree.
Yeah.
I think Conscript looked super good for its mood, and Helldivers on a like just capacity. It feels like when you're seeing that everything working at once, it like visually it's a feast.
Yeah.
But in terms of design, it's kind of pulling from a lot of stuff. It's
Pretty
it's
sad Astrobots on this list though.
All right, take it off.
No.
No.
You
But
can
then-
take it off.
No, that's not what that's what vetoes
We're
are there
allowed
to
to
stay
veto.
on.
Veto's there. That's your.
I think it
that's
was
your,
again
you own
you
that.
veto, which when someone vetoes, everyone then wants to kind of like, okay, we're gonna blast it for the reasons we wouldn't want it there.
Yeah.
Same reason if you veto something of mine, you're welcome to shit on it.
Yep.
Thank
so,
goodness you're here. It's got to go.
See, I'll fight you on that. How many left
That's
to
it.
get rid of?
That's 10.
That should be 10.
Why the fuck is
Oh,
Crow
you're
Country
muted.
still
You're
there?
muted.
I was going to get rid of Thank Goodness You're Here.
No,
It's just,
you don't.
it's just a fucking cartoon, Gus.
It's
We've
just a
seen
cartoon.
cartoons for 30 years.
Why
That's
coming
true.
after me?
It's your game. It's your game, guys.
Why is
It's
Crow
your game.
Country there?
Crow Country's cool as hell.
Crow
I-
Country's
There's
cool
nothing
as
else that
hell.
looks like it. This year.
Subjectively, I hate PSX graphics. Like, I hate that that's a thing that everyone,
okay.
that everyone's
But-
putting in
Oh,
games.
totally. I think it's done. I've said this about a lot of games that have been on this list, and it's only because I think this year is just an absolutely stellar year
It's
for
a banger
visuals.
year.
And it is so rare that you have a year where you're almost consistently seeing the best to ever do it in that specific art style. I think Crow
That's the
Country does
pinnacle
it,
of it, yeah.
incredibly well. The fact that it makes games look it freaks you out while still having those graphics in this day and age, I think is incredibly
Well, I think
impressive.
it like a lot of there's a bunch of like PSX-y style remakey things, and they try to look retro as well. Whereas this game obviously is doing the style, but it doesn't crunch the graphics down in the same ways. It kind of has its distinct take on it, which
Yeah.
I think is
we want it
really
with Crow Country and mouthwashing
I know,
here
I was gonna-
again.
I think mouthwashing
I meant to say
is-
mouthwashing, but I
Yeah.
really wanted Astrobot gone.
Mouthwash. I mean, you didn't win that one either.
No, I know.
Astrobot's still there.
Yeah.
Astrobot for me has to be number 10 if it's in this
Yeah.
list. It's like it's so uninteresting to me.
Yep.
You know what? Because this is a shared list, I'll let you have that.
Yep.
Okay.
Getting
then-
it in there was
then for
was
me,
what I wanted.
let's do
but-
what we've done in most of these. Elephant in the room is Plucky Squires number 1. Let's move it there and then fight.
Yeah. Okay. Move
Like-
it there. I think
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a justification for it being number 1.
Unfortunately, the game hasn't carried me through, but it's almost a game I want to play for all the way through purely for art style and purely to see what else it can do on a visual level. And I think that's a big draw card for visuals.
It is an
I would
art-driven
like
game.
to then push Thank Goodness You're Here potentially.
above it.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that was number 2.
I and like looking at that top 3 feels so right. It's just the placement that I'm not entirely sure of because the Plucky Squire, I think what it does incredibly well. Thank Goodness You're Here and the Plucky Squire's 2D art styles, I think are fighting with each other
They meet in the
for the
middle.
best one.
Is it unfair to
Um,
give Plucky Squire an advantage because it has a different dimension? Like, because they both do beautiful hand drawn, almost quite similar if you like of that sort of that style. Thank Goodness You're Here does it better, subjectively.
Does it do it better? It does
I-
it slightly differently. They're both, I would argue, perfect.
Yeah. Visually perfect.
I think they're both perfect
Yeah.
games in
Yeah.
in their looks. you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I would 100%
It's
agree.
hard to look at this and go that's wrong or it could be better. Like it's
You're
incredible.
right. And then when this happens, you're like,
Yeah.
But then all
insane.
that being said, based on the way that it looks and the way that it was built, Harold Halibut is a visual masterpiece. And I'll say that comfortably.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard the game's not great, but I would similarly want to play through it just to see how they expand on that environment and just see. It's one of those games you can just get lost looking at a character. How did Indy not get onto this list?
We
as
forgot to
well?
put it on the list.
We
Yeah,
forgot to
yeah,
put
yeah,
Indy on the list.
That's
Get-
okay.
That's okay,
I
it's
think Indy
actually
would
not-
have gone next to a Hellblade.
Well, I'm
anyway.
just trying to think. Yeah, what's our big AAA visual? And not that one has to live here, but I just.
Hellblade's that.
But I think Hellblade does that. And now that I think about it in hindsight, like Indy had a few flaws. So do we get Senua's up onto the left hand side?
Yeah, I would say
Because Balatro's sat here quietly and just snuck its way in.
no one even mentioned it because I think we all just were like, that's the power of Balatro.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like to often
poker,
call this out, and we almost
beautifully presented.
well, we almost did with Conscription, but again, one designer like definitely I'm sure helped, but like that's distinctly one person's vision, so that gives it some extra credit to live there. What is it visually outside of like there's the Joker designs, there's the backgrounds, there's less going on, but it's all done so perfectly that you just I mean that is almost a perfect game. Does it deserve to be on that side of it? I don't know if it does.
Maybe not. I
Because
also
there's
I
so
also
much
like
talent on the other side.
I also don't love the look of Lorelei and the laser eyes, even though it's like stylized as hell. Like I get that it's cool, stylish, but it's like it's just really dark and has pops of color and like
Which I
that's
liked more than
funky.
I liked more than Children of the Sun.
Yeah.
And I played Children of the Sun. I didn't play Lorelei, but I saw so much coverage of it, and I loved everything I saw of it. But I agree. I think it probably. I almost think
I would put Senua 4 and
Senua
push
over
the
to
other
4.
things down to kind of. Then I think we're playing in the back half of the list a bit.
Yeah. I'm
Like
happy.
Lorelei, Belatro. I think Lorelei is probably 5 in that instance. Belatro, Animal Well, Crow Country, and Mouthwashing could all be interchangeable for me.
Yeah. Whether or not
I think probably Crow Country is more interesting than the others to me. Like it's 6.
I think I'd put.
no Animal Well for me.
I think I'd
potentially
do
goes to
Crow Country 6, Animal Well 7, Mouthwashing 8, Belatro 9, Astrobot 10.
Animal Well
I
has
think
to
I'd
sit.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that being said, I love how Animal Well
I want to push
looks.
Animal Well further up because I really need it above Crow Country. I think for what it is like art design is so brilliant.
Let's
and,
put Belatro in 9.
Yeah, and then move the other 2 up.
okay.
I think
feels
that's
like
pretty,
something.
That's pretty healthy.
Will's nodding.
Absolutely.
And
I
there's
heard
error
an
noises
error
coming from
noise.
upstairs. That's not a good sign.
Sticky keys. Sticky keys is activated. That's fine.
Has anything moved?
No,
No.
that literally was an error. We heard it and we referenced
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Which would leave us with.
This is such a surprising list, actually.
Yeah.
I'm really
well, I'll
like.
let you
I
read
love
them from
it.
10
I
up.
think it is a beautiful list.
There's some
visually.
things that we vetoed that I'm like, fuck, I really wish they were here.
Yeah, I feel like there are ones here
That's-
that got in so sneakily.
Astrobot should not
Astrobot
be.
No, I
here.
disagree.
Not,
Should not
you're
be
the only
here.
veto in this whole thing.
Yeah.
I should have used my veto for Kunitsugami, but I'm hoping I saved some favor with you all. I know that's
Oh, you're going to be
These are
vetoing next round. I can tell you that
Oh, you
much.
better believe it.
So we've got from 10,
Yeah.
Astrobot at 10, Belatro at 9, Mouthwashing at 8, Crow Country at 7, Animal Well at 6, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes at 5, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 at 4, Harold Halibut at 3, Thank Goodness You're Here at 2, and The Plucky Squire at 1.
Well,
It's a good list. It's a good list.
I forgot we shot these because I looked for chat to see Nicrotex losing his shit over Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, but hopefully you do and lose your shit in the comments. This is a good list. This is an interesting list.
Everyone lose your shit in the comments.
This is
It's almost
It's amazing this smattering of 10 games. You could almost throw all 10 of these out and pull 10 other ones in that we already got rid of, and they would justifiably be here.
Yeah. I
mean,
There's
that's
just
the
so
jo-
many interesting looking games this year.
the
Yeah.
joy of visuals, as we've said at the top. They're very subjective, and
Yeah.
it is purely for like sometimes you might feel in the mood for a game that looks like this or not. Arguably, though, Plucky Squire, you're always in the mood for a Plucky Squire.
You're always in the mood for a Plucky Squire.
That just mwah.
What happened to Pacific Drive?
Fuck happened to Pacific Drive? We forgot to put that
had
on
it
the
in
list. Well, we didn't cull it.
Oh. What the hell? Oh, it's in another list, which you'll see
another list.
very, very shortly.
Or will we? This was the last one.
No,
I'm
it's not.
joking.